Today, my partners and me we will talking about the online privacy. In this age, it's possible connecting with people from any city or country of the world. Like I was, every person can have access to any information. At present, this is possible because the human was had a big advantage in the technology. However, with this advantage, you are exposed to share your personal information because it is a requirement to have access. Every day, thousands of people connect in social medias like Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, email lovers, and share your information. These companies promise to save your information, but is it really? How protected is our personal information? In the next minutes, you will to listen information that my college tutor share with you about this subject.
Online privacy is always something important to have in mind these days. We spend a lot of time on the internet sharing our life and things that we do. So for this, it's important to know what we are sharing on the internet and be careful about the sites we use while sharing our experience and what we think. For example, we will read about a very controversial case that happened to one of the biggest companies in the world in communication, Facebook, which had a severe privacy breach and sold the information which was used for political campaigns and other things.
In 2015, Cambridge Analytica, a water analytics group, accessed the private data of 87 million Facebook users. They booked the information from a psychology professor from the University of Cambridge. Professor Alexander Kogan had used an app called This Is Your Digital Life to collect data from Facebook users' locations, likes, and something even private, messages. At the time, data collection by third-party apps was not illegal under Facebook's policies. However, when the professor sold the information to Cambridge Analytica, this became a severe privacy breach. Cambridge Analytica worked for Donald Trump's presidential campaign.
Cambridge Analytica is a data company that promises to provide its clients with insights into consumer or voter behavior. According to The Intercept, Kogan, through the company Global Science Research, offered $1 to Turkers to respond to a survey under two conditions: that they live in the United States and that they download a Facebook application. If they didn't, they couldn't collect the dollar. Thus, Kogan obtained data from 50 million Americans according to the Times, or 30 million according to the other sources. The Guardian newspaper in 2015 revealed the existence of links between Kogan and Cambridge Analytica during the campaign of Senator Ted Cruz. Facebook promised to open an investigation.
Facebook was accused of properly sharing the data of 87 million users with the politicians calling for Cambridge Analytica. And this happened in March 2018 when a Canadian who had worked of Cambridge Analytica shared his history with the Guardian, and this was so serious because that it resulted a fine for violating consumer privacy, and this was investigated by the FTC, which say that a personality test could be used to collect data from users and that it will be then be sold to Cambridge. And there were two many demand, and one of them was the Brexit elections that results we were used to influence the elections.
Internet privacy. This is a pretty good topic to talk about. I could talk about it all day because uh, I I was was using the internet from very early on, right before, the whole boom of the accessibility in the 2014s in that decade. Like back then, like I remember the internet was something only like nerds used. It was a great place. There was a lot of freedom, creative freedom. We didn't have copyright strikes every 5 minutes because you used 30 seconds of a song. And now, I mean, everything is privatized, right? YouTube is now a Google company, and Twitch is also, I don't remember who they affiliated with, but it's also a big conglomerate of companies that's well known. But that's not the point. That we're not talking about that today. What we're going to talk about is privacy. I know that I'm supposed to read the information from the paragraph, but I think I could just free form, what they call improvise on this, because it's something that I usually think about since it was a great part of my life, not in a bad way. So internet privacy. Yeah, back then, the internet, everybody was anonymous. It was something very important back then to be anonymous. We had proxies, we had VPNs, we had everything to, well, we still do, but nobody uses it unless you want to change subscription on Netflix on a different region. Nobody cares really nowadays. Everybody wants to put themselves out there, right? They put their first name, their last name, their gender or many genders, depending on who you are, your location. Nobody cares about your privacy now, and well, the majority doesn't care because they want to put themselves out there, right? And even if you want to keep some things, let's say private, internet companies are still going to use that data and sell it to others, right? Sell it to other companies. Just look at all the lawsuits. I think my classmates already explained that in detail. So I'm not going to go into that. But I will give an example that was very interesting this year. Like, ever since WhatsApp became a Facebook IP, it's very sure they have encrypted chats. They boast that they're private. I mean, they boast that they give you a lot of privacy. But what you don't know that Facebook goes through your statuses to look at pictures, right? Why would they look at pictures, you ask? Well, they use their AI that recognizes the facial recognition AI that they use on their Facebook pictures. They use that on your statuses, right? They never said that your statuses were not fair game. So they use that. And whenever you post a status of, let's say, with family members or friends, the AI tries to pick up on the people's faces, and then go into their database on Facebook and look up what profiles have that face. So when you go back to Facebook, you get suggested friends that were in that status. A lot of people don't notice this because most of the time, those people are already in their friends list, right? And you may be saying, but it's so it could be more convenient. But yeah, if they could do that, imagine what other things they're doing, saving your pictures, saving everything you don't want to be saved, and selling it to, let's say, China, right? I mean, just think about it. There's a whole program on the Internet Archive that's trying to fight for freedom. Ever since the Reddit CEO was mysteriously killed, you could kind of speculate that things are only going to get worse from here on out. But yeah, nobody cares about that because everybody's spending hours upon hours on TikTok, and who cares? It's just, they get their dopamine hit right from that. It's internet addiction, dictionary dictionary definition of addiction. But whatever, who cares, right? I'm just doing this for a homework anyway.
During the Senate hearings, Zuckerberg said he will consider a new policy requiring Facebook to notify users within 72 hours of a privacy breach. He also agreed that requiring tech companies to get permission before using users' data will be a good idea. When asked if he thought his company should be regulated, Zuckerberg said yes, if Facebook was treated as a tech company rather than a media company.
Everybody wants to keep their information away to others, but when they enter to Facebook, they just agree to everything, and then Facebook and Messenger have their photos, videos, and all their personal information. So everybody knows your preferences and things really close to you, like your family. And also when you go to some restaurant or place like the cinema and you post it that, I saw this movie and in this place, then everybody knows where you were and what you bought. So we can say that somebody can learn everything about you just watching your Facebook.